Hello student, I'm Dr. Swati Chakraborty. Today we are going to discuss about a very important topic, that is human rights, international perspective. And in this particular discussion, we can able to know about some international issues and how they are relevant towards the perceptions and towards the perspective of human rights mechanism and international scenario is been directly related with the national scenario as well. So it is very important to discuss about the international perspective of human rights from the core subject area of human rights mechanism and monitoring evaluations. In this segment, we can able to know with the historical development of concept with the human rights at international level. And in this way, international human rights law, that is IHRL, international human rights law is a body of international law designed and designated to promote human rights on social, regional, and domestic level. So these are the important element while we are talking about the international perspective of human rights. Human rights as in a form of international law. International human rights law are primarily made up of treaties, different types of treaties. Treaties are nothing but the contract, the agreement to each and every individual. In this parameter, we can able to discuss the lawful enactment and the treaties with the international framework. With the agreements between the sovereign states intended to have building legal effect, इसके साथ जुड़ा हुआ है एक ऐसी गठबंधन जिसके साथ इंटरनेशनल फ्रेमवर्क के तहत मानवाधिकार को एक नए आयाम तक पहुंचाने की जो चेष्टा अंतर्जातिक स्तर में लगातार हो रहे हैं, इसी के चलते दो अलग सॉवरेन पार्टी मिलते हुए एक अग्रीमेंट के तहत आगे ले जाने की कोशिश में सोशल एंड रीजनल स्फीयर्स में इसको आगे बढ़ाते हैं और इसी क्षेत्र पर यानी कि इंटरनेशनल एटमॉस्फेयर पे किस प्रकार से ह्यूमन राइट्स की इवैल्यूएशंस, मॉनिटरिंग एंड प्रमोशंस जरूरी है, इसी को हम आज पढ़ेंगे. And today we are going to discuss about the international human rights instruments while not legally binding, and that has been contribute to the implementations while not legally binding, that how it is being enacted with a lawful way. जहाँ कि हम ये कह रहे हैं कि ये आईनानुग के हिसाब से यानी कि it is a law not at all legally binded. At the same time, we are going to discuss about the legal law with the understanding of its human rights mechanism. So how far it is related and how far it can contribute with the implementation and understanding of development in the international human rights law, and that has been recognized as a source of political obligations with the conceptual parameters of political obligations into the sphere of human rights, and it's a bottom of the understanding and development approach that has to be implemented from its root. अपने जड़ से जुड़ा हुआ एक ऐसा बाइंडिंग इसके साथ हम मान्यता दे सकते हैं मानवाधिकार की सूचित एवं अग्रगण्य रूप में इसको ले जाने के तहत. With the other hand, that has been more systematic perspective with the explanations of international humanitarian law, यानी कि अंतर्जातिक स्तर में मानवाधिकार की जो laws and treaties इसके साथ जुड़ा हुआ इसकी कार्यकारी भूमिका यानी कि द फंक्शंस ऑफ द इंटरनेशनल ह्यूमन राइट्स लॉ एंड ह्यूमैनिटेरियन लॉ दैट हैज बीन related with the inclusions of general norms that apply to everyone. सभी के ऊपर ये आंतरजातिक स्तरों में निहित नियमों को मान्यता दी गई है और इसके साथ जुड़ते हैं ये भी विषय की जिसमें with the specialized norms which apply to certain situations such as armed conflict. That has been a very effective way of understanding कि जहाँ पर हम कहते हैं with the armed conflict, द्वंद्व एक ऐसा विषय बना हुआ है आज के क्षेत्र में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट एंड कॉन्फ्लिक्ट रेजोल्यूशंस, द्वंद्व को किस प्रकार से खत्म किया जा सकता है उस विषय को भी आगे बढ़ाएंगे इंटरनेशनल पर्सपेक्टिव विद द ह्यूमन राइट्स एंड ह्यूमैनिटेरियन लॉ के तहत। और इस विषय को हम देख सकते हैं विद द सर्टेन सिचुएशंस दैट बोथ स्टेट एंड मिलिट्री ऑक्यूपेशंस that is IHL or to certain groups of people including refugees. And in the 1951 refugee conventions with the child, the conventions on the rights of the child, CRC, that has been regulated in 1987 with the prisoners of war, that is 1949 third Geneva conventions. These are very, very important understanding while we are talking about international human rights perspective and international humanitarian aspect, and that is being regulated with the conceptual parameters of international norms and regulations of the conventions. और इसी सारे कन्वेंशंस के तहत मानव अधिकार को इंटरनेशनल लेवल पर एक नए ठहराव मिला और इसी के चलते मानवाधिकार की जो आयाम बनी है आज के क्षेत्र पर, आज भी हमारे देश में जब भी मानवाधिकार की बातें आते हैं तो वहाँ कहीं ना कहीं इंटरनेशनल लेवल्स पे कौन से ट्रीटीज या कौन से कन्वेंशंस है उसकी रेफरेंस हम आगे लाने की कोशिश करते हैं। इसी प्रकार के साथ कि मानवाधिकार को एक नए सूचित करने वाले दिक् निर्धारण के तहत मानवाधिकार को एक ऐसा विषय मिले, एक ऐसी आयाम मिले, एक ऐसी एंटाइटलमेंट, एक ऐसी एनलाइटनमेंट मिले जहां मानवाधिकार को विद द सिग्निफिकेंट, विद द इम्पोर्टेंस, विद द क्रूशियल अंडरस्टैंडिंग के साथ हम पढ़ने की लगातार कोशिश अभी भी जारी हुई है। UN system and human rights यानी कि United Nations, the name is enough to know about it. With the United Nations understanding, human rights is related very crucially with the human rights law and humanitarian aspects. In the international spheres, United Nations is the name, is the body, is a concrete enactment while we can totally depend upon. जातिपुंज या इसी के तहत आलोचित विषय वस्तु संयुक्त राष्ट्र की जो संसाधन है एवं आंतर्जातिक मानवाधिकार की रक्षणा तथा परियोजित रूप में इसको सुधार लाने की कोशिश पर लगातार जारी रखने वाले विषय बना हुआ है। आंतर्जातिक मानवाधिकारों की रक्षणा एवं संरक्षण के हेतु में संयुक्त राष्ट्र की कार्यकारी भूमिका एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण आलोचना बनी हुई है। The General Assembly of United Nations adopted the Vienna Declarations and Program of Action in 1993. 1993 साल में जहां तक मानव अधिकार की अधिकारों की संरक्षणा एवं अधिकारों की बातें हम करते हैं वहां पर लगातार एक आलोचना विषय वस्तु बनी हुई है कि वियना कन्वेंशंस तथा प्लान ऑफ और प्रोग्राम ऑफ एक्शंस किस प्रकार से मानवाधिकार को एक नए सूचित के रूप में हमारे पास मौजूदा हालातों पर प्रतिष्ठित करने की लगातार कोशिश जारी रखी हुई है। और इसी के तहत with the terms which is related with the United Nations, that is United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights was established. In 2006, very recently, United Nations Commissions on Human Rights was replaced with the United Nations Human Rights Council for the enforcement of international human rights law. इसको इस प्रकार से रिप्लेसमेंट किया गया 2006 साल में कि मानवाधिकार आयोग को एक नए नाम से नवाजा गया, जिसको अभी हम इस प्रकार के नाम से जाने जाते हैं कि यूनाइटेड नेशंस ह्यूमन राइट्स काउंसिल फॉर द एनफोर्समेंट एंड इंटरनेशनल ह्यूमन राइट्स लॉ। और इसी दौरान काफी सारे ट्रीटीज एंड काफी सारे इंटरनेशनल बिल्स हमारे सामने प्रस्तुत हुए, जो कि है इंटरनेशनल बिल ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट्स, यूनिवर्सल डिक्लेरेशंस ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट्स 1948, main article that has been related with the United Nations Universal Declarations of Human Rights that has been launched with the ideology of a parameter, a framework, a dialogue concept of human rights understanding from the bottom of its core subject. Universal Declarations of Human Rights, or UDHR, is a UN General Assembly declarations that does not in the form to create the binding of international human rights law. Many legal scholars cite the UDHR as evidence of the customary international laws. काफी सारे जो विज्ञानीगण हैं, स्कॉलर्स हैं, ह्यूमन राइट्स तथा सोशल साइंस के, वो यूडीएचआर को ही मान्यता देते हुए इंटरनेशनली इसको साइटेशंस की एक रेफरेंस बुक मानते हुए इसको सूचित करते हैं with the index, with the understanding of main purpose to serve international human rights mechanisms. More broadly, the UDHR has become a authoritative human rights reference. It has provided the basic of the subsequent international human rights instrument that form non-binding but ultimately with the authoritative international human rights law. यहाँ कोई lawful enactment के तहत मानवाधिकार को हम बाइंडिंग नहीं कर सकते। मानवाधिकार एक ऐसी स्वतंत्र एवं with a freedom, with a equality, with a dignity. Human rights is very much free from any kind of bonding, any kind of binding. So that has been from the bottom of each and every individual's heart. But at the same time, somehow it is been related with the understanding of international scenario and with a domestic or national nerve. And national understanding, national need is somehow related with the international parameters. अभी हाल ही के हम बात करें तो कहीं ना कहीं टेररिज्म या संत्रास, जिसको हम कहते हैं आतंकवाद, इंटरनेशनल फेनोमेना होते हुए भी कहीं ना कहीं हमारे डोमेस्टिक या फिर रीजनल लेवल पर भी इसकी प्रयोग हम देख सकते हैं तथा इसके प्रभाव में किस प्रकार से सारे विश्व भर में तथा उसी स्वतंत्र राष्ट्र पर भी किस प्रकार से इसकी प्रयोग हम देख सकते हैं, एंड हाउ फार टेररिज्म इज implemented from its root. That we need to know. That how the conflict has been emerged and what was the main reason for this particular conflict, for this particular terrorism act. And for that, we need to know the international parameters, international instruments, and what are the existing international regulations to stop this kind of violations against human rights, this kind of terrorism enactment. What are the main treaties? What are the main conventions to stop any kind of human rights violations and degradations. Universal Declarations of Human Rights UDHR is a historic document. एक ऐतिहासिक प्रक्षापट के तहत, ऐतिहासिक सिद्धांतों के तहत UDHR has a significant reference book which has its own beauty, which has its own importance, significance in the sphere of human rights, understanding human rights concept. With the adoptions of United Nations General Assembly and its third sessions on 10th December 1948 as Resolutions 217 at the Palace des Charlotte in Paris. Friends, with the understanding of main purpose to solve the human rights enactment scenario of the then 58 members of United Nations, 48 voted in favor, none against, 8 abstained, and 2 did not vote. The declaration consists of 30 articles affiliating an individual's right, which, although not legally binding in themselves, have been elaborated in subsequent international treaties, economic transfers, regional human rights instruments, national constitutions, and other laws. The declarations was the first step in the process of formulating the International Bill of Human Rights. इंटरनेशनल बिल ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट्स को अचीव करने में ये सबसे प्रामाण्य स्वरूप में प्रथम पदक्षेप भी है. दिस इज द फर्स्ट स्टेप with the process of formulating the International Bill of Human Rights, which was completed in 1966 and came into force in 1976 after a sufficient number of countries had ratified them. और जहां तक मानवाधिकार की बातें हम करते हैं तो इंटरनेशनल लॉज जब भी बनते हैं उसको कहीं ना कहीं सभी सदस्य राष्ट्र द्वारा स्वीकृति की भी जरूरत होते हैं. नहीं तो ये जो लॉज बनते हैं वो कहीं ना कहीं इनवैलिड हो जाते हैं, वैल्यूलेस हो जाते हैं. तो अगर हम देखें कि जो भी सदस्य राष्ट्र बनते हैं और इसको एफिलिएट करते हैं, दे नीड टू बी reaffirm with the enactment, with the laws, with the treaties, with the conventions. जितने भी सारे आंतर्जातिक स्तर में मानवाधिकार की घोषणा पत्रों की अगर हम बातें करते हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं उसको सदस्य राष्ट्र द्वारा affiliated and ratified होना भी जरूरी है, साक्षर होना जरूरी है. Ratifications यानी कि साक्षरता, इसको साक्षर करते हुए, इसको मान्यता देते हुए, यानी कि हम फॉर एग्जाम्पल भारतवर्ष के संदर्भ में अगर हम देखें विद द इंडियन एनैक्टमेंट, इंडियन सिनेरियो, तो इंडिया इज अ सिग्नेटरी ऑफ CEDAW. CEDAW is the conventions against all forms of discriminations against women. महिलाओं के ऊपर कोई भी अत्याचार या विचार की घटना ना घटे, इसी के दौरान CEDAW को भारतवर्ष ने साइन किया है, सिग्नेटरी बनी है, रैटिफाइड किया है. तो कहीं ना कहीं भारतवर्ष इंटरनेशनली कहीं ना कहीं ये बॉन्डेज हो जाता है कि CEDAW को मान्यता देते हुए भारतवर्ष की सभी महिलाएं सुरक्षित रहे तथा किसी के ऊपर भी कोई भी मानवाधिकार हानिकारक घटना ना घटे. बट द सिनेरियो इज टोटली डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द present day conditions in India. Anyhow, it is challenging, but still we have lots of opportunities, students. So mind it and be very careful whenever we are sign any kind of international document. We need to follow its rules and regulations. So my question is to you, with this particular understanding of international scenario, what is your opinion whenever we are doing any sign to legal documents, though these are not being legally binding, but somehow it is related with the individual's development. So what is your opinion that whenever we are signatory of any kind of international treaties or conventions, what should we follow? do comment and do share your opinion. Definitely. Continuation with the next segment, that is, some legal scholars have argued that because countries have consistently evoked the declarations more than 50 years, it has become binding as a part of customary international law. However, the United States, the Supreme Court, in the Socha versus Alvarez McCann's 2004, with the included of the declarations that does not of its own force impose the obligations as a matter of international law. Courts of other countries have also concluded that declaration is not in of itself a part of the domestic law. The declaration consists of a preamble. एक प्रस्तावना के तहत ये तैयार होते हैं तथा इसके और भी 30 articles में with the preamble set out of historical and social cause that lead to a necessity of drafting the declarations. इसकी कार्यकारण तथा इसकी what are the purpose of the declarations, इसके तहत इसकी प्रस्तावना को लिखित रूप में सामने लाया गया with the article 1 to 2 that has been established with a basic concept of dignity, liberty, equality and brotherhood. Article 3 to 5 established other individual rights such as the right to life and the prohibition of slavery and torture. Article 6 to 11 refer to the fundamental legality of human rights with the specific remedies cited for their defense when it's violated. Article 12 to 17 that has been argued and redefined with the understanding of the individuals towards the community, including freedom of movement. Article 18 to 21 sanctioned the so-called constitutional liberties with the spiritual, public and political freedoms, such as freedom of thought, opinion, religion, conscience, word, peaceful associations of the individual. Thematic engagement, special procedures, and right to development divisions that has been related with the special procedure of the High Commissioners that has been accountable. The core functions divisions is regulated with the UDHR core functions that has these promotions, protections of right to development, in particularly with the supporting intergovernmental groups of experts on the preparations of the strategy for right to development, assisting the analysis of the voluntary reports by states to the High Commissioner on the progress and steps taken for the realizations of right to development and obstacles encountered. With the parameters of Article 22 to 27 sanctioned an individual economic, social and cultural rights including healthcare, basic healthcare facilities must be given with any kind of prejudice of sex and ages and their economical deprivations or growth. Article 25 states everyone has right to standard of living, adequate health and well-being of himself and his entire family, including food, clothing, housing, medical care, necessary social services. It is also makes additional accommodations for security in case of physical disabilities or any kind of deliberations and makes special attentions of care given to the motherhood or childhood. Article 28 to 30 that establish the general ways of using these rights and the areas of the individuals cannot be applied and that they cannot be overcome against the individual. These articles are concerned with the duty of individual to society and the prohibition of use of the rights in the contraventions with the enactment with the purpose of United Nations organizations. And how far the UDHR and human rights treaties are related. किस प्रकार से UTHR, यूनिवर्सल डिक्लेरेशंस ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट्स एंड ह्यूमन राइट्स, मानवाधिकार किस प्रकार से एक दूसरे के साथ जुड़ा हुआ विषय बना हुआ है वो भी हम जानेंगे। इसके साथ के इंटरनेशनल ह्यूमन राइट्स ट्रीटीज, besides with the adoptions of 1966 with the two wide-ranging conventions and covenants that form the part of International Bill of Human Rights, namely International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and International Bill on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights. These are two vast international covenants, and जहाँ पर हम विस्तृत रूप में ये मानवाधिकार के हर विषय को, हर पहलू को एक नए तरीके से जानने में और मौजूदा हालातों पर मुद्दे नजर रखते हुए इसको बहुत ही महत्वपूर्णता के साथ एक से दो, दो से तीन किस प्रकार से मानवाधिकार की स्थिति तथा विस्तार आगे की ओर ले जाने वाले विषय को लेकर लगातार जुड़ा हुआ है. That has been totally and largely and broadly has been challengingly written out. But with this also, UTHR is one of the biggest achievement in the field of international human rights norms and international human rights liberations front, and that has been treaties with the adopted of international level, and with the generally that has been known as the human rights instruments. Some of the most significant inclusions with the followings that has been related: that the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of Crime Against Genocide, यानी कि नरसंहार, किस प्रकार से एक देश दूसरे देश के ऊपर एक ऐसी टॉर्चर, एक ऐसी परिस्थिति की संभावना प्रस्तुत करते हैं जिस प्रकार से मैसिव मास किलिंग, रेप अगेंस्ट women, torture against the small kids or children. That has been adopted 1948 and entered into force 1951. The convention relating to the status of the refugees, यानी कि जो गृहवंचित है या फिर जो refugees है, with the CSR adopted in 1951 and created into force in 1954. Conventions on the all forms of racial discriminations, that is CERD, किसी भी फॉर्म्स में कोई भी प्रकार से किसी के ऊपर भी कोई टॉर्चर या रेशियल डिस्क्रिमिनेशंस, वर्णगत रूप में अगर कोई विद्वेष रहे, यानी कि श्वेतांग कृष्णांग जिसको हम कहते हैं कि ब्लैक एंड वाइट, दिस रेशियल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट that need to be stopped it in any way. So these are also very, very vital instrument in the international field. An international human rights mechanism that has been working out throughout its journey from the starting of 1965, and that has been entered into force 1969. So that also been related with the understanding and the important point of argument whenever we are talking about any racial forms of discrimination against any individual. The Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women that we are talking about, a very important CEDAW, and that has been came into force 1981. In 1981 को आया था, तो India is one of a signatory in this particular CEDAW. United Nations Convention Against Torture, any kind of torture, that has been adopted in 1984. Convention on the Rights of the Child adopted 1989 and came into force in 1990. The International Convention on the Protection of Rights of All Migrants Workers, जिसके बारे में हम काफी बातें कर चुके हैं कि किस प्रकार से सीजनल माइग्रेंट्स और किस प्रकार से एक जगह से दूसरे जगह में जाते हुए लोग काम करते हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं सरकार की ये दायित्व बनती है कि किस प्रकार से वो उन लोगों की तथा उनकी परिवार की सेवा करते हुए जीवन को आगे बढ़ाने की, यानी कि ईच एंड एवरी इंडिविजुअल मस्ट हैव द राइट टू हैव फ्रीडम एंड राइट टू लाइफ. दैट हैज बीन केम इनटू फोर्स 2003. International Convention on the Protection of All Persons from Enforced Disappearance. अचानक से कोई भी इंसान कहीं पर भी डिसअपियर हो रहा है तो वो भी कहीं ना कहीं इंटरनेशनल एस्पेक्ट्स बनी हुई है. That has been adopted in 2006 and came into force in 2010. Human Rights Council and High Commissioners and how far it is working with the field of human rights mechanism. that is also a challenging task that the Office of United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, commonly known as the Office of High Commissioner for Human Rights, OHCHR. OHCHR is a department of the Secretariat of United Nations that works to promote and protect human rights that are granted under international law and stipulated in the Universal Declarations of Human Rights of 1948. With the office is headed by High Commissioner for Human Rights with to coordinate human rights activities throughout the UN systems and acts as the Secretariat of Human Rights Council in Geneva, Switzerland. The current High Commissioner is Michelle Bachelet of Chile, who succeeded Ziad Rad Al Hussein of Jordan on 1st September 2018. In 2018 to 19, the department had a budget of US dollar 201.6 million, that is 3.7% of the regular UN budget, and approximately 1,300 employees based in Geneva and New York City. It is an ex officio member of the Committee of United Nations Department Group. What are the objectives of the OHCHR? To promote universal enjoyment of all human rights, giving practical effect to the will and resolve the world community as expressed by United Nations. Play the leading role on human rights issues and emphasize the importance of human rights at the international and national level. Promote educational parameter with the international cooperations for human rights, stimulate and coordinate action for human rights throughout United Nations systems, promote universal ratifications and implementation of human rights international standards that has been related with the assessment and assess to the development of new norms, support human rights organs and treaty monitoring bodies, respond to serious violations of human rights, undertake prevention human rights action, promote to the establishment of national human rights infrastructures, undertake human rights field activities and operations, provide education, information advisory services, and technical assistance in the field of human rights. With the carrying out of the research project, that has been a very important task, has been taking up OHCHR with the right to development and with the preparing of substantive outputs and with the submissions of General Assembly, Commission on Human Rights Treaty bodies. With the assisting and the substantive understanding and providing the commissioner that has been mandated to enhance the system widely with the right to development. So, students, now I would really like to have questions from you and would love to answer them. So definitely do comments and raise your hand, raise your voice against any kind of torture, any kind of human rights violations. So it's your turn that what you are going to do with your existing laws, existing treaties, existing conventions. Thank you so much for watching this video. Take care.